Jason, I'm speaking to you from Canada. We have huge fans of all of the stuff that you do here. I got to ask you though, before we get started to talk about all this great programming, how did you know that this was something that you wanted to do for your career? How does one know that they want to be a paranormal investigator?
Honestly, I didn't. I didn't know. It was one of those things where I had my own experiences back when I was about 18, 19, which I never thought about the paranormal prior. But it was, and after having that, I'm one of those people which I need to understand how things are possible. And of course, researching and looking into it, everybody had their own beliefs and whether it dust being orbs and all this other stuff. And that was just wasn't the way I looked at it. So I kind of just dove in looking to try to find answers and never would have realized that I'd be where I am now.
It's amazing because I don't know if that's something I could do. I scare very easily. Do you? Like, how do you kind of brush it off your shoulder and like, and go, okay, I'm not going to get scared, or do you get scared?
I've got 6 kids. Very little scares me these days. so, but,
Yeah.
but, but honestly, so the paranormal doesn't scare me. Of course, you can get startled, you can get shocked, things of that nature. I think the only thing that leaves me on edge or uh, yeah, sometimes a little scared is the actual homeowners because you never know who's on the other side of that door. You never know if their problem is paranormal, if their problem's medical, if it's medication induced or issues like that. I mean, we've dealt with issues where people have mistakenly mixed prescription medications and created hallucinogens. We've dealt with people who've had issue who believe that they're having paranormal activity, but are on the beginning stages of schizophrenia. These are things that you need to be prepared for when you because again I'm a plumber by trade, so you never know whose house you're walking into, and you always need to be careful. You need to be you got to protect yourself
Yeah.
online.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is really cool. So Discovery has come up with this new streaming service, Discovery Plus, and there's going to be so many hours of supernatural stuff that we can watch. This is very cool. But let's talk about this documentary, The Amityville Horror House, because of course, people who are fans of horror have watched The Conjuring, have watched movies about Amityville for so many years. Tell us a little bit about this documentary and what we're going to maybe a tease of what we're going to find out and how it makes it different from everything that we've seen before.
Well, the Amityville Horror House, which is going to be exclusive for Discovery Plus as of January 4th, it of course it covers the history of November 13th, 1974, when Ronald DeFeo shot and killed 6 members of his family at night. Um, and right down to when George and Kathy Lutz in 1975, December of 1975, bought the home and moved in with their 3 children. They resided in the home for 28 days before leaving, claiming that they were being terrorized by paranormal activity to the point that they were feeling threatened for their lives, for their safety. Uh, and so we talked to a bunch of people about the history of it, people who've really dived into the research, who've looked into it. And I think people, whether you're a believer, a skeptic, somewhere in between, you'll be able to watch the show and enjoy it and get something from it. We all know I knew George when he was alive, and I'm actually still good friends with one of the children's, Chris. And George, of course, did talk that the book and the movie were blown way out of proportion, but that the activity was there. And we need to remember, though, of course, I go in, I believe over 80% of all claims can be disproved, but any home that has had tragedy that's happened so quickly, 6 people losing their lives without knowing what happened, boom, they're gone. That energy could be trapped within an object in the home, a rock in the foundation. So the potential for paranormal activity in the house is greater than a home that has never had that tragedy in it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I understand also. I actually had the chance once to interview Lorraine Warren. What a fascinating woman, and I know that the Warrens are also featured in the doc.
Yeah, and I knew Lorraine when she was alive, and I knew Ed, and they were very interesting people. We investigate the world of paranormal. We investigate it differently, but we need to remember that we do all owe some gratitude towards the Warrens for really opening up the door for paranormal investigators like myself to get out there and explore the field. So there are some of the first people, as well as Holzer, who brought the field to light, and that's the biggest reason why we decided that we were finally going to do a television show at 20 years ago, was that we wanted to make sure that we wanted to know how the field was going to be represented, and we just wanted to show that there are people who are professionally looking for answers.
Yeah, it's amazing. And quickly, just to wrap it up, you also have another series coming, Most Terrifying. What can we expect from that?
Yes, Most Terrifying with Jason Hawes. It's great because we go to a bunch of haunted locations. We interview people who had experiences there, talk about the history of these locations, and people really seem to be enjoying the show. And I look forward to doing many, many more of them.
Yeah, well, so we love them here in Canada. Keep them coming. And just thanks for your time today, Jason. Pleasure to talk to you. And Happy New Year. Let's hope 2021 is a better one for all of us, okay?
Yes, fingers crossed. Thank you so much.